And then, once you rise to compassion in yourself, then of course, that compassion can also be extended to other people, including the perpetrator of the action which you don't like. Because once compassion is there, it tends to go out also to other people. And you understand that this other person, he himself or she, is also under the influence of condition and causes which they are not really in charge of. And because of that, they do these particular kinds of actions. So these are some of the skillful ways of overcoming negativity and anger. And again, if you apply these things regularly, consistently in your daily life, and you try it and you actually do it regularly, you'll find that something starts to happen inside of you. You start to look at the world in a new way. You start to see people in a different way. And gradually, you start to emerge from your previous bad habits, and you get into a new way of looking at the world. And it's very powerful and very beautiful as time goes by. And of course, it has a great effect not only on your general level of happiness in life, but it also has a profound effect on your meditation practice. You find you become more peaceful, you become more happy in your meditation, and your meditation takes off in a way that it has never done before. So that is one side of the coin. If you want to develop the second factor of the Noble Eightfold Path of loving kindness, we have to develop the perception which underlies the ability to have loving kindness. Because loving kindness is really the ability to focus on the positive qualities of other people and on the suffering of other people. This is what gives rise to compassion and loving kindness. When we see the suffering, it gives rise to compassion. When we see the good qualities, it gives rise to loving kindness and metta. So once we have sort of undermined the negative states of the mind, then we can start applying the mind instead to perceptions of loving kindness. So what are these perceptions of loving kindness? And these perceptions of loving kindness is basically to remind ourselves of the good qualities in the people around us. And you will have noticed before, during the meditation before, I started off by reminding everybody to remember the people around you and to focus on the good qualities in the people around you. And the reason for that is because if you don't have that perception in your mind of the goodness in the people that you want to have loving kindness towards, that perception isn't there. It's impossible to have loving kindness. You have to give rise to the perception of goodness first of all. And that is why in our meditation practice it is so important to choose the kind of object, the kind of person, the kind of people who we regard in a positive way to be able to have loving kindness. And this is something we develop through practice. So remind yourself, think, what is it about these people? What is so special about them? They may not be perfect, but they have an intention to be good. They have an intention to be kind. If you meet somebody who keeps the 5 precepts, what a wonderful thing that is. That somebody is willing to do something in their life to actually create a better world, a better life for themselves, for their family, and even for society outside of that. The Buddha said some very beautiful things about keeping the 5 precepts. He said that keeping the 5 precepts is like giving a gift to the world. You give a gift of trust and fearlessness to the people and the animals around you because they know that they can trust you. They know that you won't take advantage of them. And that is a beautiful feeling of fearlessness and trust that you're providing to the world around you. Very powerful way. And if you think about that, this is what people who keep the 5 precepts do. They give this gift to the world. Isn't that a wonderful thing? Isn't that beautiful? And when you start to think of the people around you like that, as beautiful individuals who are trying to do something good for the world, who have good intentions, who want to support themselves and support others, then you can actually, it becomes very easy to actually wish them well. A beautiful person is somebody you want to wish well, is somebody you want to be happy, is somebody you want not to have suffering in their life. So develop that perception. Remind yourself of the good qualities in the people around you. Remind yourself also of the good qualities in yourself. Don't be down on yourself. It's good to be happy with yourself if you keep the 5 precepts. It's good to be happy with yourself when you do an act of kindness and generosity in the world. It's important, and it will give rise to a sense of metta inside of you when you do it properly. So this is just some basic pointers on how to develop perception in life, and how important it is to develop perception. And as I said at the beginning of the talk, if you don't develop perception, if you don't take this as part of your spiritual practice, the path is not going to work. It is part and parcel, it is indispensable part of the path that you develop your own personal perceptions. And in particular, I think one of the most important things is precisely this, to develop the perceptions whereby you overcome the negativities, anger, irritations, all these petty states in life, and instead you develop the beautiful perceptions of kindness, compassion, loving kindness towards the people around you. This is one of the most important things you can do, because this is a foundation stone of the Buddhist path. And then, as you grow, you can also gradually start to remember things like perceptions of impermanence. Particularly maybe when you go on meditation retreats, you'll find that these things might be very powerful. So use this, and if you use this appropriately, you will find that it actually has it empowers your path. It's like giving a bit of rocket fuel to the Noble Eightfold Path to sort of improve your meditation and everything else.